Hi everyone, welcome to Out of the Box Room, where I'm joined by travel industry professionals to talk and to share experiences, both personal and professional, straight out of my box room turned into an office. Please don't forget to like, to share, and most important, to come back for more. Today I'm joined by Ujjwal Sehgal, Director of SkyLord Travel and founder of Softcloud. Hope you enjoy. Good morning, Ujjwal. Welcome to the box room. I haven't seen you for a long time, but before we start with, a few questions that I want to ask you, do you want to give a small introduction to the people listening?
Sure, I will do. Well, thank you for having me on today. It's good to see as well. I think it's been maybe 2 years nearly since we've actually seen each other face to face. So it's good to see your face again. But yeah, so my name's Ujjwal. I've been in the travel industry, I think, since the day I was born. I've grown up around the travel industry. My parents started a business in the early 80s, SkyLord Travel, and obviously we worked closely together over the years. And it's just, yeah, I mean, I spent most of my holidays, my weekends, in the office, in and around travel, seeing the different, the computer systems being brought in, learning how to use the GDS, how to handwrite manual tickets. And so I saw my parents in that industry from day one, and I think I fell in love with it from a very young age. And
wow.
But I kind of told myself, I'm not going to join the industry. And it was just maybe, when you're young, you don't want to do what your parents do, and you kind of think, I'm too cool to do that job. I don't want to do it. And then the more I started doing it, and then I finished uni, I kind of thought I'll do it as a bit of work experience. And I fell in love with it again. And I was just like, there's no way I'm leaving this industry. The people I'd met over the time that I was there, my work experience was phenomenal. And, I got to travel the world, in that 1 year, and I fell in love with it. So that was 20 years ago. And I'm still doing work experience.
But you know something, Ujjwal, actually, I've seen one of your posts, I think it was about a month ago, where one of your child was speaking, and I just fell in love. I mean, this is another. Yes, this is your daughter as well.
Yeah, so I did one with my son earlier on, and that's one where he interviewed me on one of the new projects we're working on, and then and everyone loved it. Like people kind of loved the way he did the interview style. And he's done a few more, actually, not of me, but he's done some for our neighbors for World War II, and he's interviewed other people. So he's really getting into it. And then my daughter got jealous, and she was like, I want to do one as well. So and then she did the singing video, which you saw. And I'm just, they don't have to do travel. I mean, just going off topic, they don't have to do travel, but I just want them to be able to know what I do as a living, because I'm working in front of them every day, so it's good for them to kind of interact with me and see what I'm doing.
And maybe they will be following the family tradition. You never know, travel.
Maybe space, Lord. I want them to go into space and explore something new.
Why not? Why not? So Ujjwal, as you said before, we have not seen each other for a long time, but so much has happened, and as well, not much has happened. Do you want to say what have you been doing in this last year and a half almost?
So it's been, I get for this lockdown or the pandemic, whatever you want to call the last 14 months that we've been in. I think the perfect way to describe it's almost like a roller coaster, like for everything from the working world, personally. Everything's kind of you get extreme highs, like things are looking really positive, and you get the great moments with your family at home. And then you can have the lows of being in the industry, and then it's been I think the perfect word is that roller coaster. But I mean, personally, I remember I've been working from home, which I think everyone else has been, and I'm still working from home in my living room. I've set up a desk in the living room because my wife's using the office, so it's easier to have two separate spaces. And it was nice to have a bit of time, I guess. The first part of lockdown felt like a little bit of a break. It felt like maybe the whole world needed that couple of months just to reset.
Absolutely.
And I think, I don't know if you remember, but the weather was perfect around that time. Everyone was sitting in the garden, and I know the world was falling to bits around us, but part of it just felt like, you know, we were all in our little bubbles again. So I could spend time with my wife, my kids, and, you know, we live very busy travel lives, I guess, where if we're not traveling, we've got events, we've got, you know, lunches and things to go to. And that's on top of the work we already have to do.
Yeah.
So lockdown just meant...
Did you ever felt like, when we first went into lockdown, I just felt like, oh my God, how am I going to do now, being locked at home? But then it was okay. It was like you survived. And as you said, you have the space, perhaps a little bit of garden, and you reset as well with things that you have not done maybe for all of your life.
Yeah, I mean, the highlight, I guess, was just, we've tried to teach the kids how to ride their bikes, I guess, for the last year. And during lockdown, I thought that's going to be the mission. Let's get them to ride their bikes. And just because I could go with them every day, there was no, I'm going to skip today because I'm at work, I'm home late from work or anything like that. And, you know, within a week, both my kids were riding their bikes. And I think that was one of the highlights. It was just something nice to, that happened. Yeah, it's just, we could spend time doing that. We never spent that much time at home. And yeah, we were lucky we all had our health, which was one of the biggest things. And I guess that beginning part just felt like a bit of a break from reality. That it just felt like, you know, we could enjoy that time at home.
Yeah.
And then the second half, I guess, it's when you start looking towards the end of 2020 and beginning of 2021, where it's maybe not so positive. It's been a bit more, especially again in our industry, where we see the world around us opening up. But for us, we don't have that. You know, we can't open up. We can't. We can't. We're not in charge of our own destiny. Everything's, you know, decisions are being made for us, and we're always used to making our own decisions.
Yeah.
So that part not so good. But
not so good. But then everyone expected 2020 to finish, and the 1st of January 2021, everything is going to be back to normal. But
just click and everything's back to normal again. And that never happened. So I think the optimism is, we're still hopeful, but the optimism has gone that it's going to happen this year. I think most people are now, it's 2022 is going to be the year, hopefully, that things really start to bounce back to a meaningful level, I guess.
So anyway, you had, I mean, you've been put in touch or thrown into your family life, but of course, you own a travel business, and business-wise, there must have been a lot of changes, and the past year and a half has affected. What did happen with your travel business?
So, I mean, we're a long-established business. I think credit to my dad, who started the company in '83. Our foundations were strong, so you know, we knew that was behind us at the very beginning. So we could do with the downturn in business. We could do with the lack of, without the sales coming in, but the hard work involved, I think, and everyone will say the same thing. It was day one, we all had to look at how are we going to handle the reissues, the refunds that were coming in. I think that was the hardest part. We've all done refunds and reissues in the past, but not in this type of level. It's never happened. And we just took a seat back. We thought if we rush through this, it's going to be a problem. So we kind of had to take a little seat back and say, how can we do this in a systematic way and make sure that all of our clients and everyone was looked after? And we'll, I've got a background in technology, so I used a little of that, and we use our development team to create like a refund system within SkyLord where people could apply for the refunds, check the status of refunds. They could, request date changes all from our SkyLord Travel platform, SkyRes, which is our B2B booking tool. So and we work with a lot of sub-agents, travel agents. So they were able to log in, find out which passengers were stuck, connect, choose what to do with those passengers, and it kind of paid off. So we spent a lot of time at the beginning of the pandemic just working on a system, and it paid off later on. It just meant now the system's in place, the wheels can keep turning and things can keep happening. So, and I think we did not to keep sounding my own trumpet, but we did a good job in managing that, and our clients were happy.
That's good.
But it was stressful at the same time, trying to get those refunds in and process them.
Well, plenty of respect for you, because of course you are a private owned company, and I'm sure you know the fact that there was no revenue coming through, and to have you have a few branches in the UK, you have a call center abroad. I'm sure all this has been a heavy weight on your shoulder for you, and of course the directors of SkyLord.
Yeah, it has been. And I mean, credit to the government. I remember when the furlough scheme was announced, you know, back in April last year, I think, or late March. That was a big weight off, I think, everyone's shoulders at that time. And, you know, we've had to utilize the furlough scheme, as of most businesses, you know, here in the UK. And that's been in place. That's kept things going. And, you know, most of the UK team are either on full furlough or flexible furlough at the moment. And we had our call center in India. We had to shut the call center down temporarily and get everyone working from home. And that, I think that was one of the biggest challenges, because UK, we all have really strong broadband and internet connections, but in India, it's not, you know, the businesses, the offices have got great connections, but working from home, it wasn't designed for that. So, you know, we were trying to get people answering calls, do reservations, reissues, all at the same time, and not being in the office, you know, and again, credit to the guys in our call center. You know, can't thank them enough. They really worked, you know, really, really hard during that time.
So you have the system in place also in the call center now, and everything is working okay.
Yeah, we were lucky. So, and like I said, not one thing is just down to one person. So the companies that we've used for our phone system, you know, and Viva Communication, I'll give them a shout out, because they did a great job of making sure all of our team could work from home. And all they had to do was, you know, pick up their phone, download an app, and they were connected to our office phone system from home.
Fantastic. So everything is up and running, and okay, great. And with a lot of worries as well in India because of the COVID situation there.
Yeah, and especially now. So, I mean, we actually reopened our call center in April this year and had to close it again 1 week later.
Wow.
So we had everyone back in, and then obviously the pandemic really hit India bad. And so touch wood, again, our guys have been safe. I mean, many of them actually caught COVID, but they've all recovered. But again, they're working from home now, and it's the same thing.
Well, I like your positive attitude, Ujjwal. You know, I've known you for a long time, and you've always been an incredible positive person. But there is a news. You actually are, I can't say you turning your back on travel, but you have been evolving into technology. Do you want to speak a little bit about that?
Yeah. So it was actually maybe again the wrong timing. So last year, it wasn't I was turning my back on the travel industry as such, but we set up a new business in 2000. I'm trying to think, well, the dates are all over the place now, but in 2019 we set up a travel technology business, Softcloud, and with the goal of creating travel products for other travel agents. So we have like a B2B system, you know, like a booking system, creating websites for travel agents, creating the booking engine for them. And we went live with that in February 2020. So just before the pandemic hit. So again, not the best timing to launch something.
No, call it a good timing, yeah.
But we went to the business travel show and the travel technology show. We were showcasing our product. We did some demos. We had really good feedback. And then as the pandemic hit, the world fell apart, travel stopped. So it's been a bit of a slow burn at the moment. But yeah, so Softcloud's main aim was, I think there's a lot of travel agents in the UK and the world, to be honest, who, I mean, you'd be surprised how many people don't have a website.
Yeah.
Or if they have a website, it was designed 10 years ago and never updated. Yeah. And how many people don't have an email address for their business? You know, they may have abctravel@yahoo.co.uk, but not a sales@abctravel.com. So just things like that. And we found there's a market for the smaller agents who need someone to come in, not rip them off, not charge them silly amounts of money, but to give them a website that their customers can book on, can view some packages, use some special offers, help them with those offers, help them with their social media. So that was where Softcloud was born, just to create the solution for these independent travel agents. And it's been a hard going during the pandemic, and we adapted. What we did is we actually said, you know, this year is going to be a write-off in terms of revenue. So we just gave our solution away for free for 12 months.
Wow, well done.
So we said, it's yours, take it. It's free to take it, use it. If you like it, in 12 months time, we'll talk about the contract and we'll sign up. But during the pandemic, just see if it's got use for you and if you like using it. And that's got great uptake. So we've got like 10 people signed up so far, and hopefully we'll get more in the near future.
Fantastic. It's a pity that is for a solution that is aimed at travel and travel people, and the travel has been hit so much, whilst the rest of e-commerce has boomed, and there was an opportunity through the pandemic. So if you were offering this solution for Brando biscuits, maybe you would have been making a lot of money. But yeah, I mean, you've been very active on social media. I've seen it, so I'm sure you will rehab all the rewards.
Even if it's not our solution, like I think most if the agents haven't adopted technology, now is the time to do it while things are quiet. Just make sure that everything's in order. So when, like, we know it's going to come back, travel has to come back. It's a part of daily life. So make sure the technology is in order. Get your house in order now while things are quiet, so that when things bounce back, you're ready for it. And I think technology is going to be one of the driving factors in that, whether whether it's ours or someone else's. It's so important to have.
Yeah, absolutely. So what will be Ujjwal doing now going forward with, are you going to carry on with SkyLord, or you will be looking after your technology side? What kind of model will you be working on going forward?
SkyLord's our baby, is our bread and butter. So I'm always part of SkyLord. So it's one of the reasons why I chose travel technology, because they go hand in hand. So many of the clients are shared clients. Someone who's a SkyLord client can be a Softcloud client. It's just, it opens up the market. It gives us one more tool in our toolbox of things that we can use as a business. And yeah, the future is, I guess, evolving SkyLord post-pandemic, and if making it a leaner company. I guess everyone, and us especially, have learned businesses that are lean can adapt quickly and move through different ways. If it means more home working, that might be and that might be a great thing in the future. Like, many of our guys have enjoyed the home working aspect of life. So yeah, even if we do reopen the shops, we may offer that as an option. And it also gives us the flexibility of, when time comes to rehire, we don't have to rehire around our shops. We could rehire anywhere in the UK, and you can have a network of home workers. Anyway, I could have someone working in Cornwall all the way to Edinburgh, without having to physically be in the shop. So we could get new talent on board as well.
So I suppose this is a very good and positive element that you can take forward, and that is been brought to light throughout the pandemic, and then you can bring it forward to the new normal.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that perhaps you have experienced as positive during this time, and maybe you can take forward?
I think, if you look from a personal point of view, I think it's just the importance, I think, of the people around us. Like, I think we've appreciated relationships more than ever, whether it's with cousins, friends, family, work colleagues, that's what I think all of us, and especially me, I appreciate that more than I ever have. Like, just being able to see someone, and and I think going forward I will appreciate that more. Sometimes you can take things for granted, being able to go and meet your family or friends, you can just take it for granted at times. But so that's spending time with family. I think we were talking about working from home earlier, and I think going forward I will do the same. Even if I'm back in the office, it may be more of a split where I'm back in the office for 3 days a week and working from home 2 days a week, and adapting it that way as well.
Well, it's actually fantastic, and I hope it's going to happen, because all the people I spoke to, they're all thinking of including this element of work life and office life, and trying to balance both. But I want to share my own personal experience, because after being working from home so much, and actually from my little box room, I have now returned to the office 3 days a week. And when I'm there, it's like my brain is totally switched off from the pandemic and the home life. I just feel so natural in the office. And it's like when you are on holiday, that you have this wonderful scenery, food, drinks, and then you go back home, you go back to work, and you totally forget what happened there. So
I guess when you're on holiday, you're homesick, and when you're away from work, you're almost work sick. You want to be.
Yeah.
I mean, so are you around colleagues? Is that a big part of it, where you get to have that interaction with people as well?
Yeah, we are. I mean, we're very lucky, as you know, that we have big offices and that we have a lot of space. We sort of rotate, so we're not all together in the same place, and we wear masks where appropriate. So it's been so good. But of course, when I'm at home and I work from home, I enjoy it a lot, because of course you have different timings and your own freedom to start and finish sort of when you want. But when you are in the office, there is also the bleeding of knowledge or seeing people, and we have a fantastic team, as you know, so it's also a pleasure to do that. So I quickly forget when I'm there that I've been a year and a half working from home.
The one thing I'm not looking forward to is I've enjoyed like the casual working from home, wearing my shorts and my t-shirt from my desk. It's especially when the weather's so good outside. Like I don't know if I'm gonna, back to wearing trousers and shirt in the office might be a bit of a change for me when all of that happens again. I think.
But I'm sure you still miss the people that you spent so many years and working, and sometimes you have seen them more than you have seen your cousins, as you said before.
Yeah, I know. It's and like you said just now, the whole the bouncing ideas off each other and being in, and even just the face-to-face meetings. I think we've all had Zoom calls and we've got used to Zoom calls, and but a face-to-face meeting is something completely different, right? It's just being able to be in the same room, and I think ideas can bounce off each other much more freely when you're not behind this camera and screen. It's very different.
Absolutely. There's a lot of knowledge that is lost by just having a screen. But there is also other things that, as you said, the home lives that we enjoy.
But I think we'd be lucky with having this technology in place, having Zoom calls and Google calls, all of this in place. It almost, I'm not saying if it had been 20, 30 years ago, we would never have any of this. And we'd have been picking up the phones and trying to manage. So, we're lucky that the technology was there to be, whether it's for work or to be able to grandchildren to speak to grandparents or keep in touch with friends. It's been a blessing in disguise almost.
Absolutely. So, Ujjwal, I think I've taken already too long of your weekend. I want to thank you. It's been an absolutely joy speaking to you, and I want to say as well, good luck to your business, SkyLord and Softcloud. And I hope to see you soon, but this time not through Zoom, to see you in person. And enjoy the rest of the weekend. And thank you very much for being a guest at the guest room.
No, thank you so much. Thank you for having me on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.